Marissa Freeman. I am the Head of Commercial Success here at Fingo. If you're watching this video, it means that you have probably had a conversation about joining us for some type of digital marketing activity. And the purpose of this video is that I can give you all the information you're going to need so that we have a really successful start of the campaign and that we have the best data available to create the best strategy possible. So I'm going to run through a few things that ideally we would have even before we start working with you, definitely, so that we can have a little look and analyse the data we have and just make sure that we've got everything for a really speedy start. The email address we actually use for access to your platforms is performance.fingo@gmail.com. In an ideal world, we would have access to your current website CMS, and that's just so that we can have a little look at tracking, which becomes really important later once the campaign is live and we understand what conversions are happening and where on the website. We also need Google Tag Manager, so access to that as well. Your Meta Business account, if you have one, is just that we can analyse existing activity and have a bit of an audit as to what's working and what's not. Google Ads account, we do typically use our own, but we would love access to yours so that we can have a little audit, like I said before, as to what's working and what's not. Google Analytics would be really helpful, and I do appreciate sometimes there's sensitivities if you already have an incumbent agency and maybe it's a bit too early to let them know that you're thinking about going to other agencies. So I think in that case, if you could at least give us either read-only access or download maybe a year's worth of data and send that over to us, but we're definitely going to need, if you have it, Google Analytics. Now, we will send you, as part of this email, a creative specs sheet. It's really important that you make an assessment of how many creative assets you have, the number of them, ideally ensure that they're in the right ratio, and then send them over, as many as possible, and ideally, of course, the right format. So if you ask for video, say it's YouTube, then video would obviously be great, or if we need stills or a mixture of both, say for demand gen. If you're struggling with that, then obviously that's something we can help you produce, but do let us know as quickly as possible, because we'd hate to get really far down the line and write all the ad copy only to find that we don't have enough of the right kind of creative assets. And then finally, the landing page. I've probably by now had a little look at your website and maybe recommended a landing page, but if you could have a look, ideally we'd have a landing page that we send traffic to, or a landing page that perhaps promotes conversions on your website, and that can be quite different to, say, the home page or the contact us page. Ideally, you want to have lots of helpful information, a lot of different types of call to actions, something that's engaging, informative, and ultimately something that keeps the brand promise that you made when you were on the ad. So if we think about the journey of the user from whatever platform they were on, Google or Instagram or Facebook, the things that you were saying in that ad, if they click from that ad to your website and onto that landing page, they have to feel like they're having a cohesive journey. So we just don't want it to feel too jarring or incomplete for the user. So if you could send me over, or send your account manager over, the URL to the appropriate landing page so that we can assess that and make sure that it's right for your campaign. One of the things to think about as well is the click spend. Sometimes that's called the media spend, but ultimately it's the budget that goes into the platform, and hopefully we've had that discussion by now. It would be really good if you could think about how you would like this paid. We have two options. One is that you have the company credit card that you use yourself. It's really important that there's enough credit limit on that card, even for a little bit of flex or change. Obviously, we would make sure that we're responsibly managing that budget, but sometimes just a penny here or a pound there might shift. Because if it's not completely authorised, then sometimes the whole ad campaign can get shut down for a really long amount of time. But that's the easiest, and what we'll do is we will have a secure Teams phone call. We will take the details and we'll put them in the platform, and hunky-dory, everything happens super smooth. Now, if that just feels like a lot of faff for you, or you have a different preference, then the other option is that we actually fulfill that monthly click spend or daily click spend payment for you, and then we'd essentially recharge you in the form of an invoice. Typically, we actually do it a little bit in advance, but it just really depends on the arrangement we have. But what I would say is that often that comes with an admin fee, of course, because it's a bit of work on our end. In an ideal world, you would use your own company credit card, but there are two ways that we can manage click spend. So think about what you want that to be and just really make sure that your credit limit is aligned with, you know, what you're thinking about spending for all of your campaigns as well. So if we've been discussing SEO with you and AI visibility, then there are some other things that we're going to need from you. So again, if you haven't heard it the first time round, sorry if you already have, the email address that you would be using is performance.fingo@gmail.com. That's performance.fingo@gmail.com. And you would be using that email address to grant our team access to the current website CMS, also to Google Analytics, importantly to Google Search Console. That would be super helpful. If we're thinking about hosting your website or doing any development work on your website, there's going to be a few things that our technical and development team are going to need. So the email address is performance.fingo@gmail.com, and we would need access to the current website CMS, as well as the website code database, so access to the server or the hosting account for any code level changes that we might need to do. I think you would probably know if that's the sort of thing that we'd need to do because you're probably working with us maybe on a website project or some really big hefty UX changes, something like that. And that's where all of this becomes really important. Importantly as well, if it's an e-commerce platform, then of course Shopify admin access would be really important if you want us to support managing your products. And any developer access for all the API integrations that you have, we would need that too, using exactly the same email address. And then finally for WooCommerce, and even WooCommerce with the front end of WordPress, we would need admin access to the WordPress dashboard on that, or access of course to the plugins and integrations for any enhanced tracking. So I think that's everything in a nutshell. But if you're still unsure, then obviously just reach out to whoever you're speaking to at Fingo and we'll be glad to help.